Hello, my name is Edward Robinson, a legal director in the corporate team at Charles Russell Speechley.
Hello, I am Mary Perham and I'm a senior associate in our UK private client team.
It is important to note that control forms a major part of the rationale for setting up a FIC. In every case, there is an intention for the founders to give some benefit to their family, whether it is an immediate day one gift of shares or part of the growth in value which it is hoped will arise in the future. However, this is not the same as an outright gift of cash, and because any gifted interest sits within the FIC wrapper, it is subject to the rules which are set up to apply to that FIC. Those rules will provide who has control of the FIC and what that looks like. As with any other company, FICs are subject to control at two principal levels. Firstly, we have the board of directors who are responsible for the day-to-day decision-making of the FIC. Typical duties would include decision-making on underlying investment, appointing or removing professional advisors to the FIC, and decisions around when and how much any dividends will be. All routine commercial decisions would ordinarily fall to the board. Typically, decisions of the board require a simple majority, but this can be adjusted as required. The second level of control sits with the shareholders. As a matter of company law, there are certain decisions which are made by a company which require the approval of the shareholders. These are typically matters which impact their shares directly. The most common decisions which shareholders will be involved in will be removing or appointing directors and amending the governing documents of the company. Due to this twofold mechanism of control, it is possible to be flexible about which family members are involved at which level, and the governing documents can be drafted in a bespoke way to ensure that decision-making sits with the most appropriate people within the family. One word of caution is that some people wish to give away much or all of the economic value to family members, but want to retain most or all of the voting shares. There is international case law, which HMRC have quoted in the context of valuation, that suggests that even if the voting shares only represent a very small stake in the company as a whole, their fair value is 20 to 25% of the company. In the case in question, the voting shares represented only 0.1% of the total issued shares. The result of this is some founders may find that they have retained more value in their estate than they may have hoped, and that could end up being subject to inheritance tax. We have worked with many clients and advisors to come up with alternative structures which may be appropriate depending on the appetite for control.
One structure which we regularly see used within a FIC is including a trust shareholder. FICs are often vehicles set up by wealthy individuals after a liquidity event, for example, the sale of a company. Common planning pre-sale is a transfer of shares into trust to bank any available business property relief. Because of this, or for other estate planning reasons, founders may have a family trust already set up, which could hold shares in the FIC. Even if that's not the case, a trust could be set up to act as a shareholder. The shareholder trust can hold capital and voting rights, including those with the ability to hire and fire directors. The founder can be a trustee and therefore retain a degree of control at this level, albeit always acting in the best interests of the trust. The founder would be excluded from benefiting from the trust, so they do not retain any economic value. However, they retain de facto control, and we can entrench that even further by giving the founder the power to appoint successor trustees, including through their wills. A trust shareholding has other benefits, and you will hear more from me on this in the next recording in the FIC Files series.
In conclusion, careful structuring of control mechanisms ensure founders can guide the company while facilitating smooth succession. FICs aren't a replacement for trusts, but they're a powerful complement, especially post-April 2026. Thanks for watching, and look out for future episodes in our FIC Files Family Investment Company series.